You are being watched. Yeah. The Epistle of Hebrews says in chapter 12 that there is a host of witnesses surrounding us like as if we are in a ballpark. Okay? And that we must run the race. We are being watched. Our little dramas are being watched. This means that you do not have a private life. Think of that. You do not have a private life. Your life is public. Your drama is being played out before hosts of saints and angels. They're all rooting for you. Yes. You don't have a private life. Now, this being said, God expects us to be champions. Champions. And this takes me to the most recent Super Bowl, where we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Okay? I don't hear any boos or anything. Okay, great. They became champions. You know why? They had a great defense and a great offense. Their defense stopped Mahomes, this fantastically talented young quarterback. Great defense. But they have a great offense too. Shall I say anything about Tom Brady? Some people think he's a big deal because he whines so well with the referees to get his own way, right? But you can't argue with 7 Super Bowl rings. Okay? A great offense. We have to have a great defense and a great offense. Now, in our readings today, we see that Abraham is really breaking out into a great offense. He's pretty much living his personal life the way he did, over the years, and God tested him. God knew what was in Abraham, but Abraham didn't know what was inside of him, and that's why God tested him. And when God saw that Abraham was devoted to God, that he loved God more than his gifts, even the gift of his son, and not only his son, but his future, because everything that God did for him was through that son. All the promises were through that son, and Abraham was willing to sacrifice that out of love for God. And then God said, I swear by myself that I'm going to bless you, Abraham, and all the nations are going to be blessed through you. You see, it was through his obedience, because he acted out in the front of the whole arena of heaven and earth, that he brought salvation. God brought salvation through him. And we see this also in the gospel where Jesus on the Mount of Transfiguration, and he was discussing with Elijah and Moses what was going to happen that he was going to sacrifice himself for the world. He's on the offense. Now let's talk about defense and offense. Okay, it's great to have a great defense. And we get that by prayer, by fasting, self-control. We get it by coming to church and the sacraments. We're fortified against the wiles of the devil. We must have a good defense. But it's not enough to have a good defense. We have to go on the offensive. In other words, we cannot be anonymous Catholics. Do you know what an anonymous Catholic is? Anonymous Catholic is someone who everyone around there don't know that you're Catholic. The people you work with, the people you go to school with, the people in your neighborhood. You have to ask yourself, am I an anonymous Catholic? If you are, you don't have an offense. But you might say, well, Father John, I don't want to offend anybody about talking about Jesus because I want to respect them and where their faith and belief, whatever their beliefs are and so on and so forth. Listen, we all know everyone has the right for whatever they want to do and believe. But we can't make Jesus our private possession. Because Jesus doesn't just belong to you. Jesus belongs to the world, or he doesn't belong to anyone. Who are we? We're beggars. That's what we are. We're beggars who found bread. And we're beggars who are offering others the bread or taking that bread to other people. That's it. We're showing where we got the bread. And the bread is Jesus Christ, who's food for every human soul. We must be on the offensive. We can't just play defense. I detect that so many of us are, especially in COVID, are just having a bunker down mentality. God's not calling us to that. Did you know what he's calling each one of us to do? To step across the line of anonymity. You know, it's a sin to be anonymous when it comes to Catholicism. It's a sin of fear. We're afraid. And so the challenge for us today is to step out in any way you can. You can do it in a way that's not obnoxious. Just being yourself and let your Jesus shine through you. And perhaps we should go to confession and confess this sin. Because God has made you to be a champion. And you cannot be a champion unless you have a great defense and a great offense.